that is an excellent
Excellent
question. Right? Yeah. That's a really hard one because the truth is everybody has problems in their marriage. I mean, you can ask somebody who's been together for 50 years and they seem very happy, have you ever had a rough patch? I've never seen one that said no. So that's a really tough thing. Here's another thing that's very interesting. You're going to have problems. Doesn't matter who you're with. You're going to have disagreements or issues. And in fact, according to research, 69% of your problems are what we call perpetual problems. You're not getting rid of them. It comes down to how do you deal with that makes a difference. So, you know, an example would be an introvert and an extrovert. You know, both people are right. There's nothing wrong with being an introvert or an extrovert. So one really wants to stay home and be cozy, and the other one wants to go out and do things. So how do you negotiate that is really where it's at. I mean, if you're coming up against things like criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling, when you want one or the other, instead of negotiating with each other and accepting the other person for who they are, that's the difference. There's some couples that do really well with that. Sometimes an introvert loves an extrovert because they can take the floor.
Yeah, they pull out of the shell a little bit, and they just sit back and they feel comfortable, and vice versa, right? Yeah.
And sometimes too, you know, it comes down to which hard do you want? Staying is hard, going is hard. And you're going to have to grieve either way. So if you have a relationship where, you know, maybe you're not getting every single thing you want, which our culture teaches us is possible, which it's not. So you're going to have to grieve some of the things you're not getting in that relationship. But if you leave, you're going to have to grieve the death of a dream, the life you had, the identity you had, the social circles that you were part of as a couple, all that sort of stuff, and try to figure out how you're going to, you know, move through that process too. Yeah. It's tough.
It's very tough, especially because there's so many emotions, and you're so used to having this pattern, and then all of a sudden the pattern is gone, and then it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And so you kind of have to redevelop yourself all over again. And Dawn,